So we have come to this place with open hearts and open minds, filled with the spirit of the beloved, our beloved. I know that each of us is willing to see things in a different way. We are open. We release our judgments and we stand present in this moment, here and now. I am grateful, and so it is. See, the funny part of me would say, okay, it's time to go home. I suppressed it. I sang in the mic, but I did not. So Ed and I, we're going to energetically get in sync right now, right here and right now. Got it? Okay. Go ahead and next slide. And the next slide. I just want to touch base and find out what you're learning. What are you thinking about these Thursday night programs that we're extending? Do you have any questions? Buy low, sell high? Well. Mm-hmm.
The money that's coming into our family and going out and where it came from. I'm just more aware of it. And so I stop and think about something when it's fine and sort of pay attention. And I was at the library looking for a CD to carry around in the car because I had to go to Orange County. And there was one called The Millionaire Who Lives Next Door. So I've been listening to that. And it's very interesting to be paying attention to it.
And can everyone hear her? Can we get a handheld mic to pass?
Should we get these monitors down? They're humming. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're on here.
Just the one, what you gleaned.
I've just been more aware and paying more attention to money in my life. And of course, it always also brings up the whole prosperity of my life. I always think of that. Usually that's what I do pay attention to. I'm grateful for my family and for my opportunities and my good health and my return to good health and all of that. But I'm actually paying attention to money. And it's just interesting. So I'm anxious to hear what you have to say tonight, Lori.
Very good. Very good. Miriam?
I just wanted to say, as I was driving here this morning, this evening, and I saw the red sky, that sunset, and it took my breath away. And I realized in that moment that there is nothing but well-being in abundance. And I got goosebumps all the way down. I shifted vibration, and that's the important thing.
Going once?
Any other insights? Anna?
So I think everybody agrees how valuable these Thursday nights have been. And I would like to see them ongoing, if that can ever happen. Not just once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. And you'll see the difference in, of course, all the ministers and the angle, their particular take on things. It's not all the same. So, good. Sounds like you're enjoying them. Good, very good.
You never know who you'll meet here, do you?
Well, we're from Rancho Bernardo, and our Light of Life church closed.
Yes.
So I've noticed lately with my own prosperity that the happier I am about everything, whether it's a bill or a huge check I receive, that the happier I am, the more the money flows and the more wonderful opportunities come into my life. But I also wanted to talk about Sandy and watching all that on television. And I've noticed when I've watched it, I start feeling myself getting sucked into disaster. And I started looking at it abundantly, of how wonderful their lives are and the benefits they're getting from this, and how wonderful their lives would be to fill in this void.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I might have you could be a guest speaker, because one of the things you said is right in line. We're going to go ahead and change slides. I guess we decided we'd say next. And so the question I'm posing is, do you want to find permanent peace around money? Because I don't know about you, I would like, regardless of the quantity of money, I would like to be in a place where I was at peace around it, that I was content, and that I didn't have to always think about money. Is anyone with me on that? Because sometimes, in times in my life, like yesterday when I didn't have any money, then in times in my life, what's almost more uncomfortable of not having the money is that internal lack of peace, and all of the things that I assign to not having money, what that meant. I had a lot of descriptions about what that meant. Okay, we're going to go next. So abundance, money is a part of abundance. I think we can agree on that there are a lot of different aspects. Miriam talked about seeing a sunset, and some of the close connections that families are experiencing with Sandy, they might not have experienced before. So that's all of a piece of it. But my premise for the talk tonight is that when we find the flow of life, abundance will find us. And that was a little bit about what when I'm happiest. So I found a quote that said that money is a tool that Spirit uses to express love and abundance. And we love money. I love money. Raise your hand if you love money. Money is not the root of all evil by any means. And it is a piece that goes into abundance, which in my mind is a much, much bigger. So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and bring into your mind's eye a time when you were feeling as though you were in the flow of life. You were just exactly where you needed to be. Everything was happening in your favor. And when you think of that time, raise your hand, right hand, and put it on your head. This is a time when you were in the flow. You were clicking. Okay. Turn to a neighbor and share that with them. Exchange what those experiences were. And touch on the feeling state. What did it feel like to be in the flow of life? To feel as though you were on the top of the world. go ahead and do that now. Who needs more time? I take the time to do this because it's important to know what it feels like to really be in the flow, that things are really working for you. One example that I had was that I was looking to change careers and change industries, and I wanted to get into the hospitality industry. I had no experience, and I had no idea, didn't know anyone. And I went to a conference and was walking and met Phil Lee, who happened to have a company that worked with meetings and conventions. And when we got back to San Diego, he eventually hired me. And it just felt like an example of life is in synchronicity. Because it was effortless. It just happened. Now, you talked about vibration, and I don't think, I was in the flow. I was in a place in my life where I was in the flow. So I was energized, and it was, people like to be around people who are in the flow, and because we almost have this radiance. I've seen it in all of you, not right now, but I've seen it in all of you, and I've seen it myself. So we have anchored what it feels like when we are in the flow of life, when we feel that we are so lucky and we are so blessed and God is around every corner and working in our highest good. So that's what we're going for. So I'm going to go ahead and so we're human. Sometimes we're in the flow, and I know I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I'm in the flow. Sometimes I'm not in the flow. So today I want to talk about just 3 things that will keep our vibration higher so that we are going to be more likely to be in the flow. And I know that gratitude has been around a while, but we have to look at gratitude as a way for us to shift into the vibration that we want to. We have to be grateful. We have to feel as though we have to have a posture of appreciation. So remember when Oprah got a hold of gratitude and she had us all doing gratitude journals? I looked at mine It was from like 1999. But that's one way we can do that. What we give our attention to grows. We know that. That's spiritual principle. So we put our attention on gratitude and being grateful for what we have. At one point in my life, I said, well, we have to be grateful for what we have, or Spirit won't give us anything else. That's not true. That was my old punitive. Is that the word, punitive? That was my old way of thinking. Spirit has already given us absolutely everything. What we work on is our ability to receive. And that being said, being grateful for what we have is still a good thing, that we are recognizing that we are abundant, no matter how much we have or how much we think we should have. I'm talking about ways to get in the flow, and gratitude is one of them. A very tiny one, but it's very sacred to me. It's very dear, is saying grace before a meal. Again, I know you've heard all this, but if you're here as far as how you feel about gratitude, I would like you to be here. I don't need you to be over with Fran, but let's take baby steps. Praying for every single meal for the rest of your life is a very big deal. So, we're writing it down, like Oprah told us. We're saying grace before meals. We're showing appreciation to others, because you have to be in a place of being on. When I'm in a good mood in the grocery store clerk does something or forgets something or misplaces something, then I'm very accepting. Oh, I appreciate your checking. That's great. I appreciate that. And, sometimes when I'm not quite myself, I might not be as appreciative. As I'm talking, I have a couple other ideas, but I want to get some feedback from you. How do you keep yourself in a place of gratitude? How do you keep igniting that idea that we are grateful and appreciate all that we have been given? In those same ideas with acknowledgement too, are we acknowledging ourselves? Are we acknowledging the good things that we have done, the relationships that we have nurtured? Are we being grateful for who we are and how we choose to spend our energy? So let's hear some other ideas. How do you keep yourself on the gratitude?
Reverend Lori, I have one. I stop. I have to just stop all the motion and all the stuff that's from the offices and the music. I have to absolutely stop. And I look at my puppy dog, Charlie, and I look in Charlie's eyes, and looking back at me, those big blue eyes. She's like, she's unique. Blue eyes, and she looks right at me, and I say, Charlie, I am so grateful for this day. And I look at the corn growing. It just stops me. It just absolutely takes my breath away to look into the eyes of my puppy dog. So that's one way I stop. I just stop.
That's great. it's all, I like the idea, I mean, to stop. It's like we're going one direction. Well, really, in order to go another direction, we just have to stop. Then we can choose the gratitude. Then we can choose again.
What I like to do is follow that intuitive voice that just says do something when you're thinking, well, this is not a good time to do that, but it seems like should get up and do it. And when I'm feeling gratitude over a meal, and it's beautifully prepared and everything's wonderful, I'll go and walk into the kitchen and find the cooks and tell them thank you very much for that. Or, you know, just you know, follow that. There's an urging to do it. Now, I had the incident yesterday morning where there were 2 police officers at the coffee shop, and I had this feeling that I just wanted to buy them their coffee for the morning. And I was that close, and I was going to hand the card, and I stopped myself. And afterwards, I felt badly because I didn't go ahead and do it, even though it would seem kind of, you know, strange to do that in some people's mind. But anyway, I think it's just getting in tune with the intuitive feeling when you want to do something grateful like that, just to do it. I do it all the time with the clerks at the stores and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I feel so good, but it gets me higher. You know?
Yeah.
I just get higher off of it. That's it.
Hi, how are you? Well, starting with gratitude, I'm so grateful to be here sharing the beautiful talk of Lori and everybody else, but it's similar. I continuously keep serving and just be at service and contributing, and how can I today just make a difference in somebody else's life? And I do it with my clients, I do it with, and something similar, I was coming from last week serving from one of my clients, and in the way I have this client that is actually having terminal cancer, but she's doing pretty good. She's already in chemo and all that, and he's been a client for a long, long time. So I came just for no reason because I've been servicing her. And she was so surprised. I just came to make her day, give her some little goodies before Halloween and all that. And she was just so happy and so grateful that I came. And little things like that I mean, it's almost like makes you feel so good. So I really stay in that state just by contributing to others' happiness. And that's basically my way. Thank you.
Nice, very nice.
I learned this from some other class, but every morning I start with like 5 things I'm grateful for, and then before I go to sleep, I always do as many as I can think of until I fall asleep.
Very good. So again, this thing called gratitude is not new, and my intention is just if you can. Oh, I'm sorry. Go.
I love to go on walks. Something about just getting outside and being with nature. And I do my affirmations and my treatments and everything, and it just puts me in the best mood. And that's just, even if I'm having a really crazy, stressful day, just taking that time just to refocus everything really works.
There's what I've heard a couple people, it's the benefit, there are a lot of benefits to being in gratitude and to be grateful. I'm gonna use this quote because I think it addresses it. This is from Eric Butterworth, who wrote The Spiritual Economics, and I love his writing. But it says, you see, gratitude is not for God. You're not obligated to thank God for your life, for your job, for your prosperity. However, giving thanks is an important state of your consciousness that keeps you in an awareness of oneness with divine flow. So I read this that gratitude, it's a trigger that puts you in the state of consciousness, or what I'm calling it is in the flow of life. Okay, so it's being grateful and then realizing the byproduct of that. So. So we're going to look at another way to stay in the flow of life. Because when we're in the flow of life with the law of circulation, there's a much better chance that we would increase our prosperity. So the next one that I want to talk about, I'm going to have change, is inspiration. Inspiration. To be and choose to be around people, places, and things that inspire us. Like coming on Sunday to hear my announcements. And Dr. Christian as well. And well, I'm getting ready. So, Fran, our artistic director, is going to play a song about inspiration. And I want you to be thinking, what inspires you to be your best, to feel that connection with the beloved? So, Reverend Fran.
Thank you, Reverend Laurie. I think this is one of the most inspirational songs that I have heard, and it's an old song, and you guys all know it, but every time I hear it and play it, I'm totally inspired. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing, oh, nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You all can sing with me, right? You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, well, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. When the sky above you should grow dark and full of clouds, and that old, old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud, and soon you'll hear me knocking upon your door. Here we go. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, hey, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you got a friend when people could be so cold? They could hurt you or desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, sing the song here again.
your fall. Now all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there. You know I'll be there. You got a friend, ain't it good to know you got a friend? Ain't it good to know you got a friend?
Wow. Ah. Oh. Major goosebumps. Major goosebumps. Fran always inspires us. Our friends inspire us. Yes. And I'm going to go ahead and give you some good news after I read this. Cease trying to work everything out with your minds. It will get you nowhere. Live by intuition and inspiration, and let your whole life be revelation. Really like that. Now I'm going to give you some good news. What other seminar here at Seaside has told you that you got money? I am going to invite, we have a couple people who are supporting the workshop tonight, the class tonight. And as they are handing out, which is checks, there's either 4 or 5 checks. And what we're going to do, you see, you now have $10,000. So I'm going to take you into a guided meditation to figure out how in the next 10 minutes you can spend $10,000. These are checks. They need to be filled out completely with the amount and handwritten and signed. So these are replicas of checks for some. Who else needs? You know, I just gave everybody 10 grand and no one even said anything. We just talked about gratitude. I'm thinking you guys. Yeah, come on. What's the deal? All righty. Put your checks on your lap. Get a pen ready, please. And allow your eyes to close, sinking into the place where your answers are, where your intuition is. You have just been given $10,000. Contemplate where you'll write your checks to. Will it be a charity? Will it be to pay off debt? Would it be any of the other things that we might use money for? So stay in the silence for just a moment. Suppressing the joy of having received 10 grand. And as you're ready, allow your eyes to open and write out your checks. Raise your right hand if you need more time. Raise your left hand if you need more money. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. Who needs more time? Yes. I'm like, if you need more time to figure it, anyways, go pair up with a partner and tell them what you spent your money on, and then I'm going to have a couple of shares with the rest of the class. I noticed you, oh, never mind, I'm on the mic. You only had 10 grand, so you didn't have to spend that much money. Go ahead and finish up. So I want to get some feedback. Was this easy, hard? This exercise is not new. I have taught Eric Butterworth spiritual economics before, and we've done this this exercise. But what was your experience?
Well, a funny thing happened today on the way home is that I was driving along and I went, I'm going to create $10,000 in my life today. And then you said that, and I went, wow, okay, it's coming. I mean, the same exact amount. It wasn't like I want 5,000 or anything. I said 10,000.
Oh, that is something.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty cool thing.
Was it easy, hard? Was it?
My first check was to Seaside, of course. Because you always tithe any abundance to Seaside, right? But I know Seaside's trying to raise money so that they can get a bond to pay off our mortgage.
Right.
And my husband and I had a conversation and decided we would contribute $2,000. But I really hate to take money out of my savings account, so I was just been saying somewhere, in the next couple of weeks, $2,000 is just going to show up. And so I don't know that this check is any good. I might still have to take it out of my savings account. And the other is I put it towards paying off my car. I bought a new car, and there was an $8,000 discount if you financed the car with Ford, but it's not a good interest rate or anything, so they just pay it for a couple of months and then you can pay it off. So I thought that would be nice, $8,000 towards paying off my new car.
When we did this...
And her first check was to Seaside, too.
When we did this in spiritual economics, I took all the checks, and on Sunday I put them in the offering. Just to...
Very good, very good.
Abundance, conceptually.
I find it's always easier to spend and be generous with windfalls.
Very good, very good. Did you pay yourself in some way? Who would like to share where they wrote their check or checks? Right here?
Well, first I paid Seaside. I gave them $5,000, and I gave all my money to charity. So
wow.
I gave to 3 charitable organizations that I'm always thinking about giving them money, but I never do. And this exercise made me realize, well, I don't have $10,000 to give away, but I certainly could make some sort of donation, even if it's small. So I gave $2,000 to the Wounded Warrior Project, $1,000 to Helen Woodward, the animal shelter, and $1,000 to KPBS, and I kept $1,000 for myself.
Good job. Good job. Who else wants to share their... Over here and then here.
I just want to add while I'm walking over here, if we really believe thoughts are things, and we have blank checks, and we've made them out to money, all we get to know is they will manifest in whatever form we choose.
George.
I gave, first of all, to Seaside Church, $2,500, but I also gave to the state of New Jersey, $3,000.
Oh, yes, boy.
I gave to the Salvation Army, and I gave to the Boys and Girls Club, and I gave the last $500 to one of our children who has sickness problems.
And it feels good. You know, it really, it feels good. It feels good to give in that way. Did you want to share yours?
Deb?
I'm sorry?
I gave the whole 10,000 to New Jersey for the residents who've been affected by it.
She gave the whole, say it.
I gave the whole 10,000 to the residents that have been affected in New Jersey by the storm.
The other thing that, you know, trying to glean these lessons, Ellen was the only one who asked for more money. And I said, yeah, you can have more. So, you know, we usually think, oh, I didn't know we could ask for more. Well, ask God for more. Ask him for more. So, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I was really thinking abundance because when you said 10,000, I didn't even hear that. I heard 100,000. So
good hearing.
We were just discussing it here because we were both writing out our checks. And he said, oh, I think it's only 10,000. I says, no, it was 100,000. And I says, boy, I must really be thinking wealth, you know. And not only did I think 100,000, I thought, well, if I have 100,000, I know I have a lot more around me. So let's say I'll give 100,000 to Seaside, of course, to pay their mortgage. And then the other 100,000 to pay my own house. I want to pay, I'm looking to get a new house, so that's where I went to. But I felt that sense of all around me, like I'm in this pool bathing in this, you know, the abundance everywhere around me. And when you open up to that abundance, you attract it in every area of your life. And money is just the tool that is in between and comes with all that. So I'm feeling it.
Very good. One of my tricks as I was working on expanding my financial consciousness, anytime I wrote a check, I always, in my mind, wrote it as though it had 2 more zeros. And it was, of course, fictitious, but it got me, so I was writing bigger checks in my mind, and that was one way that I chose to expand things, and it worked. Mm-hmm.
One of the ways that I do, both for personal and for business, is on my checks, I say thank you. I write thank you. And in my mind, it's thank you, God. Some of my vendors probably wouldn't appreciate that, but that's okay. It's thank you on every one of my checks.
Yeah, that goes back to the value of, do you feel complete with this? You want some more money? You want some more checks? What do you want? Just tell me what you want. I'm going to go ahead and turn to the next slide. Again, we're talking about staying in the flow of life. We've experienced, revisited a time when you were in the flow of life and what that felt like and how good that felt. Well, how do we get in and stay in the flow of life? We looked at gratitude. And we looked at staying inspired, whatever that means. Music, being around friends that are important to us, that inspire us. And we do our work, which means we do our spiritual work. We take care of ourselves. We have times of meditation. We have times of prayer. We do what we need to do. Now, the key here is that we're doing our work, but it's on our side of the street. I don't know about you, but if you've ever had on the other side of the street your spouse or your friend or your coworker, is doing something and you're going to fix it. No, we can't do that. We do our work and we stay on our side of the street. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Because it's hard enough keeping our vessel clean. The last three, of the three, the last area that I want to look at is forgiveness. Forgiveness. Because I visualize that who I am is a clear vessel for God. And when Spirit wants he wants to work through me, I have to make sure that that vessel is unclogged, that it is clean, that my negative thoughts, my ideas that no longer suit me, that no longer are in alignment with the spiritual truth of who I am. That's why we go to our practitioner. That's why we do prayer work. That's why we journal. There are many things. That's why we read spiritual books. There's many things that we do to keep that vessel pure and clean. One of them, the last one, is forgiveness. So we're going to take the next. This is another tool to stay in the flow of life, to keep that vessel clear. We forgive. We forgive ourselves. We forgive other people. We just forgive. It is a spiritual practice. I try to check in with myself and say, is there any, if I'm not getting what I'm wanting to create, there's a very good chance that I might have some forgiveness work to do. And that's just been my experience. When we forgive, we know that both parties are freed up. The person who is doing the forgiving and the person who is being forgiven. It's an energetic thing. Have you had someone that you've been mildly agitated and irritated with and you don't really ever do anything about it? Am I the only one with the hand up? Well, we're going to have the opportunity to do that now. I have a meditation that I want to share with you. Go ahead and clean off your lap. And have a piece of paper nearby. If you don't have a piece of paper, raise your hand and we'll get you one. Allowing your eyes to simply close. Become aware of your breathing. Breathing in all that God is. Breathing out any thought that no longer serves you. This is your time. Bring into your heart the image of someone for whom you feel much resentment. Take a moment to feel that person right there in the center of your chest. And in your heart, say to that person, for anything you may have done that caused me pain, anything you did either intentionally or unintentionally, through your thoughts, words, or actions. I forgive you. Slowly allow that person to settle into your heart. No force, just opening to them at your own pace. Say to them, I forgive you. Gently, gently open to them. If it hurts, let it hurt. Begin to relax the iron grip of your resentment, to let go of that incredible anger. Say to them, I forgive you, and allow them to be forgiven. Now bring an image of yourself into your heart, floating at the center of your chest. Bring yourself into your heart. Using your own first name, say to yourself, for all that you have done in forgetfulness and fear and confusion, for all the words and thoughts and actions that may have caused pain to anyone, I forgive you. Open to the possibility of self-forgiveness. Let go of all the bitterness and judgment of yourself. Make room in your heart for yourself. Say, I forgive you to you. Knowing that the work of forgiveness is one that can challenge. Knowing that forgiving ourselves and forgiving all those that it is our belief that they have harmed us is a freeing, exhilarating experience. And as you gently bring your awareness back to this present moment, allow your eyes to open. And become fully present in the here and now. I know we've done a lot of healing work and processing in this church, in our center, which is helpful for all of us as we evolve. I feel so strongly about that forgiveness piece. Is there anyone who would like to share their experience?
Yes, I think that the most challenging for forgiveness is the one when we judge ourselves, and we do it in a way that comes out in a negative sense at times. And it really is a reflection of who we are when we find fault with another situation. And it gives us a chance to really, oh, they're gone. And it gives us a chance to really look at ourselves and how we can see things differently.
Anyone else?
Well, it got a little crowded in there. There was a lot of people I needed to forget that kept crowding in, but I got to all of them. I think I'm okay. I read a new definition of forgiveness, new to me the other day, and it was giving up hope of ever having a better past.
Giving up hope of ever having a better past. Kicking and screaming, huh? Very good. Well, as we go to the next slide, we forgive, and we really need to release and completely let go, because has been easy for me to hold on and even think I had done the work that I needed to do in forgiving, and then found myself, I'm just telling all the dirt. And then found myself, going around the person like I was in 7th grade, going around the person so I wouldn't have to be near him. So the final step of all that is just releasing and letting go.
So, Reverend,
yes.
Laura, you want to have them do something really fun for the closing?
Yes, because I really got you guys on a downer.
No.
This forgiveness stuff.
It was introspective for me.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much.
That was my intention, to
but
be
you know, we have a
introspective.
song that would just go right in, because when you release and let go, then you can fill that space. Right after you've let
That's
go of
right.
that, you fill that space with all
I'm
the
with
love you have for yourself. So this song, we call this the what do I call this song? I don't know, the circle song. But it's go, I love myself so much. Watch. That I can love you so much. But what happens? That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. I think that might be the complete, and then we can go with other words like I respect, I trust. But y'all have to stand up now and face each other. And then every time we change a word, you have to find a new partner. And you have to help me sing. I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can
can love you so much. You have to point. That you can start loving me. Point to yourself. I love myself so much that I can love you. That I can love you so that you can love you. That you can love you so much that you can start. That you can start loving me. Change partners. Change partners. Now we're going to do another one. I trust myself so much that I can trust you so much. That you can trust you so much. You can trust you. That you can start trusting me. Everybody, right? I trust myself so much that I can trust you so much. You can trust you. That you can trust you so much. That you can start trusting me. Change partners. Another word, but you know I'm going to run out of words pretty soon, and I want everybody to have a new partner. And the children at the school used to tell me, Mrs. Chris, can we say this? I respect myself so much that I can respect you so much. That you can respect you so much. You can start. That you can start respecting me. One more time. I respect myself so much that I respect you so much. You can start. That you can start respecting you so much. Whoops. That you can start respecting me. Does anybody have another word that we can put in place of those ones? In place of love, respect, and trust? Another word? All right. I inspire myself so much that I can inspire you so much. That you can inspire you so much. That you can start inspiring me. I inspire myself so much that I can inspire you so much. That you can inspire. That you can inspire you so much that you can start inspiring me. Any more? Any more? Lori, any more? Let's go back to I love. Ready? I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. One more time. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. Here it is. That you can start loving me.
And from this place, I will simply pray us out, knowing that we are filled with the gratitude, that we are filled with the inspiration, and that we are filled with the ability to simply forgive and allow the presence of God to work in and through us always, knowing that as we are clear vessels, that we will do our part to keep open, to allow God to use us in oh so many ways. We are surrendered. And from this place of being surrendered, we are receptive. We have become aware of this thing called abundance and prosperity, and we move toward it. We see it. We see it anew. For this I am grateful. It is only in this day that I am allowed for the presence of God to reveal itself in powerful ways. And for that, I say, and so it is.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh, wait. Mark Victor Hansen, we got the cover of the Life Connection. We'll be here. It's $10. It'll be November 9th, which is a Friday night. So be there. You don't have to have advance tickets. Just come and bring a friend. So.